Because if you have bad karma, you're going to get, scientifically, as it were, just by this law of cause and effect, reincarnated in a way that really stinks. You are going to get reincarnated lower down the caste system. So let's say that you are, like Arjuna, one of the main two characters in the Bhagavad-Gita, let's say that you are a warrior. You're from the warrior class, the warrior caste. You are a kshatriya, and you don't perform your duty. And as you know, Krishna, throughout the Bhagavad-Gita, keeps flogging poor Arjuna, saying, gotta do your duty, gotta do your duty. Your own duty done badly is better than another man's duty done well. So it's very important, Arjuna, that you ride off into battle and kill your cousins, because that is what your duty requires, even though you don't want to do it. If Arjuna refuses to do that, he's going to build up bad karma, and he is going to be reincarnated not at the second level of the caste system, where he is now. There are Brahmins at the top, the priestly class. The Kshatriyas, the warriors, are the second level, still a pretty darn good level to be at. Arjuna, if he screws up, is going to be reborn way down the caste system. He might be reborn at the untouchable level, at the outcast level. That's so sucky, it's not even in the caste system, per se. It is the lowest level, it is outside the caste system. He might be reborn even more lowly than that. He might come back as a cockroach or as a dog. Part of the whole idea of samsara is that you might very well get reincarnated as an animal, and especially if it is one of the culturally lowly animals, not good. On the other hand, let's say that Arjuna does follow Krishna's advice. He rides into battle. He does his best, even though he's got some real trepidation about this battle, to fight as a warrior. But he does so the whole time with desire, with attachment, with passion. And the Rajas guna, the action guna, the second of the three gunas, predisposes you to acting with passion. So it's very likely that even if Arjuna does fulfill his duty, he acts, he goes to war, he's going to do so with a sense of attachment. I hope I can win this war. I hope that I can win this war without screwing up my family system. I know my cousins are really going to be ticked off at me. How will my mother ever forgive me for killing her nephews, etc. If he does so with this kind of attachment, he is, no matter how well he does his duty, building up karma. And even if it's good karma, he's just going to get reincarnated again. He might come back as a Brahmin. Better than being a Kshatriya. He's now up one level. But it's not as good as achieving the ultimate goal of the Gita, the ultimate goal of Hinduism, which is release from samsara altogether. And for release from samsara, for achieving moksha, you have to learn to act without any attachment at all. You have to do your duty, but you have to act without attachment to your duty. For someone with the Rajas guna, this is hard. It's hard because they are, just psychologically, by virtue of the Maya, Brahman's magic that predominates in them at the psychological level, they can't help an awful lot of the time, unless they really work at it, acting with attachment, acting with passion, acting with desire. So they're worse off than the people who have lucidity in them, because they've got this strong tendency toward desire. It might help them act in good ways, but it's going to keep them attached, keep them building up karma. So we're working on the gunas here. We're working on the Maya that creates your psychological self. We've got sattva, lucidity, which inclines you toward knowledge. We've got rajas, passion, desire, obviously. As a kshatriya, Arjuna has a great deep inhelping of rajas in him. And then the third guna, down at the bottom of the scale, again it's a hierarchy, we're going down, is tamas, T-A-M-A-S. Tamas is the Sanskrit word that Barbara Stoller-Miller keeps translating as dark inertia. Dark inertia means laziness, dullness, sleepiness, torpidity, negligence. Somebody who's got tamas predominating in their psychological guna self has a very strong inclination to sit around doing nothing. These are the lazy people. And people who are lazy are going to find it even harder than people like Arjuna, who've got the passion guna predominating to achieve moksha. Why are they going to find it harder? Well, because they can't really be bothered very easily to do their duty. And you'll remember the main thing one needs to do in order to get out of samsara and achieve moksha is to do your duty without attachment to the fruits, without attachment to the results. Somebody who's having a hard time doing their duty can't even get on the ground floor with that one. So you can see then how there really is this hierarchy. The knowledge guna helps people know Brahman, go straight to that. The passion guna helps people do their duty, perhaps, it at least helps them act, but they're going to have a real problem with attachment to their duty. The tamas guna makes it hard to even do anything at all. And according to Hindu lore, each one of us has all three of these in us. However, they are not equal in us. Each one of us has some different combination of them. And the combinations are understood to vary according to the caste system. So if you're a Brahmin, if you're part of the priestly class, you have just naturally been born with sattva predominating in you and the other two in lesser amounts. If you're in the kshatriya class, you have just been born with action, passion, desire predominating in you. Still some sattva, still some interest in knowledge and truth, otherwise we wouldn't have Arjuna carrying on this lengthy conversation with Krishna for 18 teachings, but it's not as predominant in you as his action. And if you're down at the bottom of the caste system, this is one of the main ways, as far as I can tell, that Hinduism justifies to itself this caste system. You're down there because you're just a lazy butt anyway, and so you kind of deserve to be there, but wouldn't it be nice if you could find a way to get out of that? So you've got tamas predominating in you. So far, what we've been saying is that God, Brahman, has structured you at the surface psychological level, the level most of us experience because we're still working on our 68 lives where we're going to realize we're Atman underneath. You are structured in such a way that you either are moved closer to moksha, are having a hard time with detachment, or are sinking further away from moksha because you're just sitting around being lazy and negligent. The cool thing about the Gita is that it doesn't rest there. It doesn't say, if you're already doing well, things are going to get better. If you're screwed, things are going to get screweder. Instead, it says that for each one of these predominating psychological personality types, there's both a difficulty and a possible path to enlightenment. It's pretty easy to see what the possible path to enlightenment is for somebody who has the truth, lucidity, sattva guna predominating. They just have to keep working on knowing Brahman, knowing Atman. However, they have to be wary of, there's a difficulty for them as well, being attached to knowledge. Because, again, discipline, the overall technique, you have to find a way to get going for yourself. Discipline is doing your duty without attachment to the fruits. So if you have the truth, lucidity, guna predominating, you're going to find it hard sometimes to be detached about knowledge. You're going to say, I just want to learn more about everything. I keep wanting things, and that makes it hard to be detached. We've already talked about what the strengths and weaknesses are for the rajas guna, the passion guna. Strength, it helps you act, possibly in the right way. Weakness, it's going to keep you attached through passion to the results, the fruits of your acts. For the tamas guna, for the poor people who are just psychologically stuck at the bottom of the hierarchy, pretty clear what the difficulties are for them. But there's also a possibility for them. And this is the way of devotion. There are three major yogas, three major disciplinary tracks, disciplinary meaning ways you can become disciplined, that are spoken of in the Gita.